is Alan Nardi, and I am chairing this evening's meeting. We have an agenda. If you have not picked them up, you're welcome to, and please make sure you've signed in so we have your information. You start with a roll call of who is here. Commissioner Vincent Wallace. I'm here. Thank you. Dan Escort here. Thank you. Kevin Coffey here. Thank you. Marissa Zordi.
Present.
Thank you. Julian Cole. Walter Cole. Here. And we'll try to take everything in order on the agenda. We know the first, the acceptance of the meeting. Dated April the 2nd, the commissioners had an opportunity to read and review the minutes. Yes. Any questions, corrections to discuss? And moving to a motion.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We will take a vote, starting with Commissioner Coffey.
Yes.
Andrew Nestor.
Yes.
Vincent Walsh. Yes. Nardi, yes. Walter Cole.
Yeah.
And Melissa.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So they are accepted. Thank you, staff, for putting them together. We had one environmental review for 50 Elm Street. Is there anyone here regarding 50 Elm Street? We
Would that be the old First Church? Yeah. That's me.
come on down.
Sorry about that.
All right, so give us your name and your residential address for the record, please.
Good morning, or good evening rather, Jonathan Kerrigan, 233 Allen Street.
So John, let me just read the overview from our staff. Petitioner submitted environmental review application for the purpose of performing restorations to the exterior of Old First Church, 50 Elm Street. Restorations include masonry work, roof repair at the parish house, alongside other exterior repairs. And I'm assuming that we've already discussed what those are.
That's correct. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to come before you this evening. We are very excited about this project. I'm not sure, I believe you have a full copy. We submitted a full copy of our plans for you guys to review. This is a thorough project. The Old First Church is a Springfield landmark, to be completely straight. It's an essential structure. It's one that we value. It's one that we're the facilities department. I speak very. We have a tremendous opportunity in front of us to do this work. Funding has been a challenge, but we are fortunate to be to have come into possession of a sum of funds from various places. There is a trust. There were some ARPA funds involved, and sort of scraped together a decent sum of money to perform stabilization. I think that's an important word. We're not seeking to change, we're not seeking to alter, we're not seeking to improve. Well, I should say that we are seeking to improve. We're attempting to implement the results of a study that was conducted in 2020 by the Dietz and Company. It was an architecture firm. Unfortunately, we were not able to work directly with Dietz for this project. We did issue an RFQ. We are fortunate to be able to work with Gail, who is on the call with us. They've been fantastic in reviewing the Dietz report, pulling together all the recommendations of the Dietz report into an actual construction project, which would target deficiencies in particularly the exterior envelope. So we've gone through the Dietz report. Our goal with this funding, though we wish there were always more, and we certainly used it at this location, is to stabilize the exterior shell, and then work through folks like Tina Quagliato, Ken Sheehan, and economic development at seeking additional grants and additional funding to continue that work on the inside. So it's largely targeted at holes, deterioration. I can pass around some material. I'm not sure what you guys got in front of me, but I did make some copies of this. It sort of shows what. You just flip through those briefly. It sort of shows some of the areas of target that we're planning and intending to here. We intend to use like and kind material. They're all set. They tend to use like in kind materials as we go through this structure. Take a minute. I apologize for how that printed. It printed the long way. The first slide, one area of concern is the parish house roof. So there's really two structures, two construction dates for both parish church. The main church itself, which has a very early date. I want to say it's 17, some of you might know it's 1700s, that era. The parish house, we believe, dates back to the 40s or 50s. Is that correct? Deeps? I don't know if Gail team can speak or not.
Gail, yeah, this is Mark Loringer, Gail Associates. The original church, well, the original church is gone, but this church was about 1841. I believe the parish house was late 1800s.
So that second structure, a different date. There's an asphalt roof on it, which is multiple layers of shingles. We were only able to put an EPDM covering over that at some point in time to try to stop the moisture intrusion. This project would allow to remove all of that and go back with the appropriate proper roof to prevent and stop moisture intrusion. We would be targeting gutters, areas that are allowing moisture to penetrate through masonry. We would be targeting masonry. There are numerous locations where there is masonry that needs repointing, that needs rebuilding. Again, in the same form that it was presently, simply making it safe. There's a number of points throughout the structure when you move on to the church where existing trim is missing or damaged. There's pieces that have fallen off, sections of the balustrade that have been damaged. We're trying to go after as much of that as we possibly can with our funding. So we do have to work through Massachusetts public procurement. That has a hefty price tag, prevailing wage, all those factors will be applied. We have constructed this in such a way to use a tiered structure. So we have a base bid, we have an ad alternate, and so on and so forth. That allows us to ramp up into varying levels based off how favorable our bids are. And we're hopeful we'll get favorable bids. We do have quite a bit of interest from the contractors, some really strong names out there. So we're hoping to get good pricing. We are continuing to search for additional streams of funding. So within a reasonable period of time, we could potentially, if we're able to come into more money, add additional work to that scope. But it all relates back and ties back to the original deeds report, which has been reviewed and tweaked by Gail into this project that is actually actionable at this point. Yeah. Is there any questions? I'm happy to answer any specific.
Mark, just for the record, can we have your residential address?
Yeah, residential address is 4 Richardson Drive, Hebron, Connecticut.
Okay, thank you.
Got it.
Commissioners, any questions?
Well, no change in materials, no change in design. Just the restoration. That's actually all I need to know. If something changes.
That's correct.
Of course, you can't do it original material on original.
Yeah, we figured that we're not, but there's no this is definitely a historic structure. Like there's no questions about that. So we we intend to do exactly that. Our goal is simply to try to bring this structure back to where we can pause, the effects of time and moisture and continue to look for additional funding and additional purposes, which would all trigger additional.
There's no doubt from these photographs that this place needs a lot of more materials.
So all we need.
The masonry restoration, you're planning to match up our mortar, make some color?
That is my intention. Can you confirm, Gail team, that you guys have that in the spec?
Yeah, this is Mark, Gale Associates, absolutely. Mortar and brick will be matched both physically and in color and texture to what we have out there now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sir, I have a question on that. So you're gonna use lime mortar and not Portland cement?
Gail?
We do have some
Portland cement.
We do have some testing requirements for existing mortar moving forward, so we'll know exactly what that mortar is before we approve any sort of mortar. The parish house being late 1800s, there is a possibility that there is some Portland cement in there. before it became widely available and used in the States in the 1910s. It was still used prior to that. So we do have a program to check what we need to go back.
And you, the roof replacement, that's what your intent is, right?
That's
So
good.
what are you replacing it with?
So to my knowledge, we're looking at removing the multiple layers. So right now you have an EPDM sheet, which was a past maneuver done in approximately 2016. We weren't able to get the funding for the full roof. You have multiple layers of asphalt shingles. We would be going back, stripping down to the sheathing. We would be repairing the sheathing, although from the interior inspection, there's surprisingly less damage to interior sheathing than I expected more, frankly. From what I'm told from our initial discussion, the sheathing looks pretty good. We'll be going back with that asphalt shingle roofing. Is that correct, Gail? I'm not aware of slate or any other systems on this roof, on the parish
No.
house.
That is correct. The roof going on the parish house, that's the only place we're doing a re-roofing project that will be going back as an asphalt shingle. It is more, that shingle that's specified is more in the slate look style.
And we could be using ice shield,
That's a great question, because there are still implications of the building code. Mark, how do we feel about the ice shield, ice and water barrier? 4 feet up is the code, I believe, at this point.
So the ice and water shield will be installed at the eave, the rakes, the ridges, penetrations, underneath valleys to the extent required by code. We have implemented a ventilated soffit, and we'll utilize that along with a ventilated ridge to maintain ventilation underneath the shingles.
Thank you.
It'd be fantastic to minimize ice damming. Anything we can do to stop that.
Other questions, commissioners? If not, I'm open to,
I make a motion, we approve the exterior repairs for the restoration of the application for the Oak structures presented with the materials submitted as part of the application tonight. The proposed work will not be detrimental to the building, and the project will have no adverse impact on the historic character. Second.
thank you. Further discussion? Anyone? Take a vote. Walter Crowe,
Yes.
Marissa Zorzi,
Yes.
Vincent Walsh. Yes. Anna Nestor.
Yes.
Kevin Buckley. Yes. Thank you very much.
I'm very appreciative of your time here, and it's,
Looking forward to seeing.
as a week, there are very few projects that this is the fun one.
Yes.
Excited to get this done for the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's continue on to first of our continued public hearings, and one Mountain View windows. What, just read. That's. Overview, the petitioner submitted application for certificate of hardship for the purpose of retaining the unauthorized windows that were installed after the 2022 fire. The installed windows were noted as being vinyl max to the Eclipse series. Commission was noted over the course of the last few hearings that some of the windows appear to have been reduced in size, however, petitioners intended no reduction in size was occurred. The hearing was continued for the purpose of obtaining more information. Past applications, certificates, and previous communications. As outlined below, the information provided here contains all the information known to staff. Staff does not anticipate making any further discoveries. Regarding the current application, staff have no information regarding past applications. 2023 certificate of appropriateness application to replace the fire damaged windows to repair siding. No certificates were issued. 2022 certificate of non-applicability application to replace damaged windows with new vinyl windows, repair siding, rebuilding roof. No certificates were issued. 2018 certificate of hardship relating to solar powered panels. 206 certificate of hardship relating to one vinyl replacement window on the 3rd floor. And again, 206 certificate of hardship relating to replacement 3rd floor rear windows. A double hung 1/1 white windows. The staff did not discover photograph that seemingly indicate that the windows installed prior to 2022 fire were lights. But the staff confirmed that no formal certificate or denial was ever drafted or disseminated since 2018 certification prior to the 2022 fires. Let's give a little more information. Staff discovered pictures from 2006 application that presumably demonstrates the type of windows that were installed prior to 2023 fire, but it appears to be white vinyl windows. The pictures have been submitted into the record. Staff cannot confirm how many vinyl white windows were installed prior to the fire. Staff believes that a number of events led to the misunderstanding and resulted in petitioner believing that the window portion project had been approved. First and foremost, the petitioner initially and proactively submitted a building permit application to commence with some renovations. Petitioner also initially and proactively submitted a certificate application to the Historical Commission for the purpose of repairing the siding and replacing the windows. And the commission is aware the siding part of the application was approved, while the windows portion was denied. A certificate approving the siding and certificate denying the windows was never issued by staff. Petition is known that the siding part of the application has been approved from the initial hearing since they were in attendance. Staff was unable to find any documentation indicating that the petitioner had known that the window part of the application was denied in the subsequent continued meeting since they were not in attendance. Finally, at some point, the initial building permit application was approved. The building department had visited the site and subsequently issued a certificate of compliance, with no indication that the petitioner had been conducting work beyond what was approved in the building permit application and beyond what was approved by the Historical Commission certificate. So the hardship justification is to find that the series of miscommunication among city staff and the petitioners, in addition to the white vinyl windows being installed prior to 2022 fire, resulted in the unauthorized replacement of the fire damaged windows with unapproved vinyl windows, similar to what was installed previously. So there was a lot to be said, something to add to that.
You know, just that basically this was all a big misunderstanding on our part and we thought everything was approved and I guess it wasn't. And like you stated, we did get the building permit. We had inspectors come on site, everything was flowing along like there was no problem. And now all of this comes up and the windows do match the ones that were already there, the white vinyl. So it's not like they got changed, you know, as far as like design or looks.
Sure. How long have you owned that house?
Few years, like 3 years.
Any windows, the windows, we have verification that the windows were vinyl, whatever the number of them were before the 2000s expired. They can replace those windows without the amount of ability. No certificate would have to be issued for it. And I vaguely remember some of these because I was taking your both some of them. But I just want to state one for the record that the non-issue of we don't issue certificates to tell you what you can't do. We issue certificates to tell you what you can do. So that in and of itself, that were the only issue, I'd still have it. But the having verification that the windows were already vinyl, we can't retro somebody. We can't make them then put a historic window in it if it was vinyl prior.
Correct.
So what I don't know is how many, what we're talking about now, were they all vinyl? Were they all, when they got replaced, or some of them vinyl, some of them not?
The site visit might be,
Yes, well, I'd love to hear about that.
well,
Before you go any further, just for the record, can you guys just state your name and address for the record? You can jump right in.
Nikolai Depot,
Thank you.
And
Nikolai Depot,
And your home address,
605 Southwick Street in Melbourne.
great,
in lieu of Lassick at 10 Cloverdale Street, Pittsfield.
awesome, thank you, sir.
well, you were at the at the site visit, correct?
We went to a site visit for another property.
This was, that's for Maple Tree, not this one.
Okay,
We went to the next 167.
okay, that's right.
That was the same.
Sorry.
Marissa, you had something?
No.
Oh, excuse me.
So there wasn't a site visit this to this.
No,
Okay.
nope, they were gonna do research, the research was the ask, what he
Research.
did the history on. The site visit was for the next one, for 167.
So we, get your answer to your question, how many?
Or. And they're all replaced now.
Yeah.
They're all windows. Were any of them wooden windows? Or were all of them, there's no way for us to find out. I don't believe. And I think that might be.
Do you guys know, do you know if any of them were wood?
They were all fine.
They were all lying from the,
Well, there was.
all the ones that were
a
damaged.
wall that was completely gone, so you couldn't tell what the windows were.
Sure.
So we just matched, you know, what went with like, it was a bedroom, same size for the other bedrooms, we kind of matched it up, but there was no way to know what was there. But what we did replace were all fine.
Right, were there any undamaged windows in the house?
No,
Everything was damaged.
everything.
Were any of them old? I guess my question is there any single window in the house still with the whole building? Well,
I think that's what I see from.
yeah, me too. I just, you know, I wouldn't suggest that I would ask them to now change that with the historic window. But this. I think we have seen, I think I've read enough to know that this is just a non-applicability at this point. And that we really don't have a say in the windows. Would I like anything done to the house, anything else to be maintained historic nature?
We
To have-
ordered the new door, like you guys said.
Yeah.
last meeting.
Well, some of the other things I think we already covered,
Foundation, yeah.
we already covered, right?
In the foundation.
Yeah.
Foundation and everything, but I do think there's sufficient evidence that these windows can be accepted. Building because they're just replacing the one that was there. Same window that was there prior, right?
Anyone else, comments, questions? So since this is a continuation of the public hearing, I'm bringing it back to the public. Is there anyone else who's here, who'd like to speak either in favor or not of this application? 21 Mountain View Street. I guess not, going back to the commission. The commissioners, I am open to a motion unless you have something else to like to add. One more. Sure.
I think I would make a motion that we accept the application of the ability. It's just the windows, that's what I was checking, this is the only time windows, not applicability because the replacement were. It's been verified that they wiped on a replacement of those prior. Yes.
Would you want to add something that any further changes?
That's a different thing, this is.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Further questions? Okay, so I guess I'll take a vote to approve this as inapplicable. Eleanor, yes, Walter Crowell.
Yes.
Judy Crowe, motion's in here, Sarah Marissa Zorzi.
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin Coffey.
Yes.
And next one, yes. And Linda Dodge, yes.
Now this caveat that he wanted.
Now
Into
it's
the motion, it doesn't have to
say
be,
something.
if anything has to be changed, or any exterior, you still have to come see it.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
right, you're changing the size of something, the material for the look of it. We're kind of, we're
Yeah.
more,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Okay, we're gonna continue on with the second public, the continued public hearing for 167 Maple Street. With and so the record again, take a statement of even residential addresses.
Or even above. 111 Chester Street, Springfield, Massachusetts, Southern Wood 111 Chester Street. Yeah,
Thank you very much. Read.
This is the one that did the second.
Correct. Yes.
So the written application, the overview is the petitioner submitting application for certificate of appropriateness. For the purpose of obtaining approval for the unauthorized replacement of the right second floor window in view from Maple Street, which is a white vinyl window. The replacement window is a used unspecified window and the petitioners are unsure as to the make and model. In addition, other second floor windows were seemingly replaced sometime in the last year with white vinyl windows without authorization from the commission. This was flagged by the building department. However, petitioner is contending those windows were installed prior to purchasing of the building. The reason for the continuance, the hearing was continued to allow the commissioners to perform a site visit, which they occurred to gain a better understanding of the current status of the windows. So I'll let the commissioners give us their review from their site visit.
So, we met outside, it was Marissa, myself and Andrew and, all the gentlemen. So the window that was in the front that they replaced was just for security. What we found on the inside is that, the windows on the outside,
Next one.
the next corner over where it says dentist, the left. Yep.
Yep,
Click it
click
in.
down that way.
Yep,
Not that far.
and out to the right,
Turn.
There we go, getting there.
keep going. That one there.
The smaller one. Yep. There you go.
Close
So
enough.
all of the outside windows look dark because they're storm windows. And so all the frames on the storms are like a brown. What they had done is they put replacement windows inside of all the storms. I'm assuming to try and weatherize what was inside. And to make it so you couldn't see it, they just tried to paint them with like a really dark brown paint, so there's a lot of brush mark. So it kind of looks like a brownish maroon dark color, so you can't really see it from the outside. So pretty much every room we went into had white windows that were all painted brown. And that's why you couldn't see them. And one on the outside, you could see when we replaced the white windows, there was no storm there now. It was either smashed or removed. So it pokes your eye out because there's no storm window there.
Yeah, so that top right.
But like the one to the left of it, there's a white storm window behind it that's been painted, all of them, all the other windows, even around the side. On that side and on the back side, they just put white windows on the inside and painted them brown, so they didn't poke their eye out from the outside.
Okay, got further questions for the people from the site visit or any other question?
Have you seen anything?
No, but to clarify, the ones that were painted, they said on site were there prior to their purchasing.
Correct.
The only one they replaced was the one
Was the white.
that has the boarding on it.
Yeah.
So there's only
That was
really
done-
one
yeah.
window.
That hasn't been painted.
Correct.
Correct.
All right, so let me take a minute and open up to the public because this was continued. Is there anyone here who's interested in speaking either for or against this application for 167 Maple Street? No, thank you. I'll bring it back to the commission's table. So commissioners, I guess what we need to decide is whether or not to approve this unauthorized replacement of that one window. Is that correct? That we're talking about?
I would suggest that at the very least, that window has to be brown in color and that's the applications. And,
Are they planning to put the storm window like the others?
So we asked this because we don't know before, but when we asked to Andrew, it says if it that cost, you guys can come and see. A lot of those storm windows are stolen too. There are some of them with the black, so he says he's gonna help us out to select the what are the storm windows you can put it.
Right, so they asked from.
From the-
Are you willing to do a
Yes, yes.
dark in color?
We
so
can
that-
do whatever we have.
So you can have a dark storm to match the other,
Match.
that's the ask, and you're saying yes,
So they're
And you're gonna work with it.
install the storm as well.
Same.
in dark and color, yeah, they're willing to
To
do that.
match.
all the is really here.
That's all.
That's it.
Right, so commissioners, I'm open to a motion. If you so will.
I move to accept the application with the stipulation that the color of the exterior and the storm window. In other words, that the windows match in color and in application as closely as possible.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Walter Crowe,
Yes.
Marissa Zorzi,
Yes.
Vincent Walsh, yes. No, Marlins, yes. Dan Escore.
Yes.
And Kevin Bob.
Yes.
Thank you.
You guys know if you're gonna change anything on the outside, call Curtis, or call Andrew and ask the question.
Thank you, that'll be no.
Very good, yep.
Thank you, appreciate all of that.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so we have three new public hearings. We're gonna start first with 185 Belmont Avenue. Is there someone here for that property?
Yes, hi,
Hello?
Neil Phillips, hi.
Join us. Please give us your name and your residential address.
Neil Phillips, Forest Circle. Hi.
Right. Let me just comments from staff. The application, the petition was submitted application for certificate of hardship for the purpose of installing 36 black and white double hung, double pane wooden windows with 5 or 6 of them being vinyl windows with Symington model 100-1 black vinyl in the past double hung, double pane windows. The petitioner has advised that the replacement of all of the windows should create hardship. The approved window status. Other models of that window have been proposed and installed. However, the proposed Symington model 100-1 is not on the approved window list at the moment. Staff was unable to obtain information from the petitioner as to whether the proposed window is a slimline-ness model or able to confirm how low the window sits on the window sill. Okay, so we'll turn.
Thank you. I'm just trying to replace my windows, which are shot in there since bought 1988. Very old, it's some good craft and thing, and we take off the triple track on almost all of them, we always take those out and you can find windows with black trim, that's all, that's about it. But I think we can enhance the building by taking off the triple tracks and putting on the windows. Yeah. And we, about 5 years ago, we bought the place across the street, 198, put in windows with grids to match what was there. So they're vinyl. We put them in with grids, but here there are no grids, it's just a straight paint. And if you can see, they're all white. Just a triple track.
Are you suggesting that you're going to use an approved window?
Well, I mean, can I use this? I just, my contractor went to Home Depot, got this at Home Depot. I don't know what to do this one. Yeah. Too much, I guess, but
Very often. Then it's up two different things. One is line instead of some of the cheaper or less expensive vinyl windows are just wide, fat vinyl at the top and bottom. But there are some more expensive, the slimmer line, the window sill sits down instead of going to an 1.5 inch vinyl. Sits down much lower on the sill, so it looks like a regular window sill coming down.
so if I can get certification for these are mine, would you accept?
Well, likely I have, we have, it's no, I have to see it. You see what we're getting, we just don't want that vinyl. Below the white majority, the green to the black.
Oh, absolute black, yeah, because all the windows are black now, but again,
Yeah,
all that white matter would come off.
Right, but that would really nice too.
Yeah.
But black is great, that's the big one of the big purpose, but with the windows being accepted. Especially when it's 1/1, there's no grid, that takes that off the table.
Yeah.
It's how that sits on the windowsill. And in slimline if possible. We haven't approved all the ones, but it depends on the size of them.
If it were include each,
Well, I think they.
So we looked at it, and the other thing we typically like to see, if you can bring a sample in, since we haven't seen that, if it's an approved one, we've seen it before in person. So it's when we have it, and it's really want
So it's like, sometimes you can tell the difference.
Is that a picture window on the left?
you're right, I think that will have to stay. There we go.
So that's not being replaced.
Can you
Probably not.
zoom in a little bit on?
Yeah, which model of them?
So you're not replacing that?
I don't think.
Or the multiple, we do not show with you. It's even so. Yeah, we don't take it.
So this is the profile of the window you're talking about? Yes, yeah, that's why I circled it with top like you.
See, this is not. That's trim.
That's true. This is the window section. There's no need or
Almost, I can't. Almost can't tell you, so they have a little different.
That's all I'm getting, I email, you know.
This is close, it just, I can tell you already, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Instead of having to come in like this. Sit down on the sill. I mean, I would suggest that we pass these, that the commissioners look at these. And if. Well,
I think what I'm seeing is that the sill itself is high. That the sash is fitting is.
right, but
Yeah, it's high.
it doesn't look like it's 2 or 3 inch.
No, I'm saying the sill it's raised. In other words, it goes down about this.
It only goes in this little bit right there.
Right, but I think it continues right up
To that.
to this.
Yeah.
You think this is all one piece?
Oh, you don't think this is part of the window that were, they were really good at the door. You know, you show you one, just so you can see the picture. If the window is going in here, that's too high, if it's sitting down here.
Deep
Well, not into the pocket, it's down on the sill.
I mean, the bottom of the window sash would be.
The sash, I'm scared, the sash, all that. So the picture's not quite given.
Okay, so that's interesting one to do.
Um,
It'd be helpful if we had a section.
Yes, well, again, just or an exit, if they have something you can carry in.
Yeah,
Look right at it, yeah, physical, yeah.
You
Would have to come out.
also, it might help if you insisted that your contractor look at the approved list of windows. Because that contractor should know what exactly those are and whether they're available.
You're clearly trying to do it the right way.
Right.
And I think you understand the difference, what makes it one more historic looking for than the other. We can continue this to the next meeting and just see what you, because if you're doing the colors, so I'm okay with that, I'm not sure it comes to this for me, and the style looks okay, just gotta know how that sits. But have the contractor look at. That also, that's a.
Could I see your sample?
I'm sorry.
No, that's-
But there's a couple of very similar models that.
You've got one,
but we're just looking at cutaways. He said, those look pretty, to show this to the machines. We try to, do windows easily.
And listen, your administrator was great. Is he here tonight? He did a great job. He
The
does a
city's
great
down
job.
there.
He's always available.
So you're
Believe me.
saying that
He's
this
great.
piece is part of the sill, you think?
Well, he's.
So that's the
got a cutaway
question.
right there.
We're not sure.
It's a section, I think.
This is a cutaway. Without the sample, it's hard to tell what you're gonna actually see once it's on.
The reason this is so important.
It looks like it does.
Look,
It is.
like that, it won't go right with that age of in the house.
Yeah.
And that would be very important. I know you care about this very.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Another question, I give you my cell phone number, just text me that. 531-2471. What is it? 531-2471, 531-2471. Two thanks, yeah,
I feel people say.
247. Yeah, so when I, you heard right, check that, no, we'll change for next month.
Let's make that motion, making.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
Other question, so, to Commissioner Nestor's earlier question, in your quote, you do have a picture window, so you're now taking that out.
I don't know yet, I've got to talk to my contractor, I said I'm looking at that.
All right.
Is there, it looks like the picture window has,
The loop
Yes.
around, yeah, it does. Yeah.
and they, so it has a. But it has panes in the inside,
No.
no, it has
All
solid
one
glass,
glass.
okay.
Piece, yeah,
So what's important is us to know for sure whether you're going to do that.
okay,
Okay, that'll be, because we have to approve it.
yeah,
or
sure,
not.
thanks.
Next
We-
month. Okay, so
We
this
need
is,
to make
this is a
motion.
public hearing, so we know that
You can continue the public hearing because we don't have.
We don't have the final
information
meeting,
even
right?
for the public to.
Right,
Okay.
and you come just for this.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
Okay, so, is there anyone here who'd like to speak in favor or not regarding this application? For 285 Belmont Avenue?
180.
Sorry.
I'm, he's sitting next to me this year.
185, oh, kind of. So we'll bring it back to the table. So commissioners, I'm open to a motion to continue to the next meeting.
So moved.
You heard of that?
There's a question on there.
Please,
I'm sorry.
So sorry, no, the windows listed here, are they the same as what you just showed us?
I think so, right, that's what we got, yeah,
Think so?
I'm trying to get off from my dude, sorry.
is there another
Because
question?
the itemized list here is listing the 400 series wood right, which I think is an Anderson window we've seen before.
So if that's what they're using,
That's what I'm just asking for clarification.
Correct, but that was not this particular window.
This one, right, okay, alright, understood. Just want to be sure.
Okay,
Thanks.
so I have a motion, but I don't have a second yet.
Yeah, that.
So,
um,
so a motion
Don't have
a motion to continue to the next meeting. Any further questions or discussion before we take the vote?
Thank you.
Yeah,
So that'll be May 7th.
Yes.
Thank you. Diana Nestor,
yes,
Kevin Coffey,
Yes.
no Nardi, yes, Commissioner Gold.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the rest is well.
I'll be back. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. A sample.
We're all
I'll try to get last time because I'll shout it out.
I know.
Thank you very much.
I make the motion.
Okay, we're gonna continue on, please, to 238 Sumner Avenue. Windows on authorized work, come on and visit. You can join us and will you give us your name and residential address for the record?
It's Dimitri Daichuk, 900 Riverdale Street, West Springfield, Massachusetts.
Very much. So let me just read the application overview. Staff was originally informed by multiple parties that the petitioner may fill modifications to 3 windows on the east side of the building, as viewed from Greenwood Street. Upon investigation, staff discovered that the petitioner had made authorizations of 2 windows and immediately contacted them in response to an application for certificate of appropriateness and hardship as submitted for the purpose of reducing the size of 2 additional windows, one on the first floor and one on the second, which were not part of the original December 25 certificate of appropriateness. The work petition receiving approval has already been completed. Commission had originally given explicit authorization to reduce 1 window As part of that approval, the petitioner was instructed during the December 25 hearing that no other window should be reduced in size. Petitioner has advised that the only place to locate the kitchen sink on the first floor was in the area where the first floor window is located, and therefore, to meet code, the windows needed to be reduced in size. Staff was unable to ascertain the rationale as to why second floor window was reduced in size, noting the petitioner was specifically instructed not to. And as a correspondence only conveys the reasoning the kitchen sink location for reducing the size of the first floor window. Staff has informed the petitioner that the commissioner was tasked with maintaining the aesthetics and historical characteristics of the building. And it is located in the historic district. The commission will be not tasked with ensuring that the aesthetics of the historic building is adaptable to the interior renovation project, especially one without the proper approvals in place. Should the commission entertain approval of the already installed window, staff recommends that the site visit is scheduled to confirm that the petitioner's position about kitchen design is being the only functional layout. Approved window steps. Two windows are Simonton 5500 reflections, the same model window. That was approved in the certificate of appropriateness from the December 25. Okay, so,
Yes, so the reason for the window change was in fact because of the kitchen. When we finally got all the walls permitted actually begin working, we discovered there was some plumbing that was starting up the joist. Of course, no bending, and so we had to modify, make some changes to the layout. It's a very small room in the kitchen with a lot of things on the way, such as bathroom door, rear door, dining room door, hallway, huge radiator, in a basement door. It's very complicated. It's a big house, very small kitchen, and again, in order to with the plumbing to code, and with the window being low, our cabinet would have been higher than the bottom of the glass. And there was no other way to move it around. We considered moving the sink in a different location, but now we're gonna have a place for the stove, microwave, the fridge. It's very dysfunctional. We just couldn't make it work. And of course, to meet code for plumbing, electrical, and we had to, sister some of the joists in the ceiling because they were cut. We had to reroute the one from. It was unexpected.
okay, any question?
Yes. Did you know you were supposed to come before us before you made any changes?
To be honest, this is the first time we're doing the historic house. I did not think for this change we needed to, because it was the same style of window, same location, same material.
Our first meeting was about reducing the size of the window, and I remember the discussion when we agreed.
Right, that was,
Why would you not come? The reason I'm asking it is, in this, it sounds intentionally. Like, we're gonna just do it and see what happens. That bothers me more than having a discussion and coming to an agreement to make it easier for them to keep a historical house historical. I mean, we regularly try to work with people to get it done in a way that's both sides can handle, because it's never all the fun. Except when this happens, because this just bothers me. The first discussion was the size of the window, and then when you had to change another one, you just didn't. Well, sort of, you keep talking about this, I'd like to hear your shot.
yeah, no, and again, my apologies for this, you learn it the hard way, but by no means do we want to cut corners, we didn't spend the time going through all the approvals, so we could not ask approval. Now, that was not the intent. Again, I take full responsibility for it. I ask that you guys forgive us. We're trying to do an amazing job with this house. We got the approvals originally because we were changing from wood windows. In the window that we changed the size, the one in the tower, that was a much smaller window, stationary windows, different window. So of course, we went through the approval. I don't know why. I did not think this was going to be a problem. but it is,
So, I need to add something for clarification. The kitchen sink window that you're talking about, is on the second floor?
first floor. First floor, the reason we changed the window directly above it is to keep the aesthetics same. That way both windows are the same. And that was the reason, the driving reason for the second floor change.
Right, so where the scaffolding is the kitchen, and you changed both windows to match the same.
Yeah, they're both the same, they're both the same height from the top. Yeah, and we just simply raised the bottom, but the width, the height is the same.
But the window that was approved to change size was the second floor.
The second one, that's right there.
Now,
Yeah.
okay,
Sorry,
and now I understand.
that was approved.
You can see where the big one used to go.
So I want to make something clear from what I understand. Staff made a note saying that the petitioner was saying that they had to change the window size to meet code because of the kitchen sink. I don't think there's a code that says, a building code that says the window size needs to be any height at a window. That's just a preference. The window can be lower, below
No, that was.
below the counter, you just would see the back of the counter thing. Okay, so that's not a building code issue.
Yeah, the issue was that the window was reaching below the top of the cabinet, or the cabinet box. So no, I didn't say that the window had.
No, but it was noted that it's it was
So if you had come, this was in your application. You would have asked us to be able to change two windows, that they would be the same size, it would be the same approved window, that all the woodwork would end up being the same. You know, so that it would look as if it just looks.
And again, part of the challenge we run into is we already lost several months between sourcing windows, getting quotes, and then coming for the approval, and then winter started. And with the snow, with getting the permits, when it was finally time to work, we had a frozen house with 2 feet of snow on the ground. It just really cost a lot. It was
Welcome to development,
Yes.
entrepreneurship, that's right.
Yeah, it was a whole winter.
Okay, commissioners, other questions or clarification?
I have
Go ahead.
I don't know, if it's a question or not, but I share Commissioner Walsh's concern about the fact that this was specifically called out in the earlier discussion, something not to do, and then the applicant went ahead and did it. And that, I think, is, I can appreciate scheduling problems. I've built very large projects. Scheduling is very difficult, but that's part of your business. And that doesn't mean that you can now skip over, the appropriate proper procedures to get to your schedule. So I think that this is there's an issue here. I'm not sure what the correct resolution is, but I just want to voice my concern.
Commissioner, I can assure you, we would not just decide to cut a corner this time. At the last meeting, that conversation you're referring to, that was directed to that stained glass window, and the promise that we will save it, fix it, we're not gonna change it. And that conversation was, hey, if you can't save it and you have to replace it, come and see us. I don't remember.
Right, but just for a point of clarity, one of the things we always try and say at every single application is. This is what's been approved, whatever's on that piece of paper is what's been approved. You have to, if you can't get the window, if you can't get the material, if it has to be different. Let us know, just come back. That's what we say with every application, because things happen, right? So.
But you've heard from the first three you listened to, you said it to everyone.
All right, further questions? Commissioners, before I bring to the public hearing? Okay, so to the public, is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of that? The petition, the created, showing around.
Yes, my name is Phil Content, 52 Oxford Street, Springfield. And what bothers me is that this is not like a private individual homeowner, it's a contractor who should know the rules, and It was also my impression that he was specifically told what he couldn't do, and then just went ahead and did it, as Commissioner Walsh said. So, I mean, I think
So you're against,
I'm against allowing any exception for this, for these changes. I think it should be restored to what it originally was.
thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in favor or not? Okay, we'll bring it back to the. And further discussion and or motion.
Now I'm gonna do something I don't usually do. I asked him what he might have argued having done it correctly in the correct order. And I was suggested if you had done it correctly. It showed us that it was gonna, dimensions were gonna be equal, the spacing, all the woodwork, the windows would be approved. Color wise, and showed us a picture like that, that it possibly would have been an acceptable project. What bothers me is that you didn't do that. And there's, I don't want to reward you for not doing it by saying that I'm now accepting. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm just suggesting that had it been presented correctly that way, I might have looked at it and said, okay, the windows are gonna be matching and we could possibly move forward, but.
To add to that, if you had come before us, we could have told you other aesthetically appropriate ways to handle the fact that you were putting a sink or renovating a bathroom that would not have affected the exterior of the house. There's plenty of ways to do it, as Commissioner or Chairman already said. So that's where I'm struggling with it, is that if you had come before us and done what we had previously asked, which was if there was changes, come back, we could have come up with different solutions.
So I have a couple of questions. The window on the second floor, the small window that was changed. What I'm looking at is some siding below it that was. Is called, let's say, the fill where the window used to be. Is that correct?
Right, it was installed, but not finished because of the stuff on board.
Okay, so if you look closely, the workmanship of that patch. To me. Is a really visual problem. Because it says, oh, something used to be here, we patched it up.
We discussed that in the first meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah,
Right, so that's why I'm bringing
It's
it,
just unfinished because we stopped.
that's why I'm bringing it up. The second, and can you come up a little bit higher? Was that siding, if you don't see the angled siding, was that changed?
On the third floor? No.
So it was like that, with two different materials on either side of that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, but the street view, if you want to go back to that.
hard for me to say.
It looks like it's in the shadow.
Yeah, there it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess one of the things that I would hope would happen is that siding be
blended correctly.
blended and installed and where you did not see that patch. Because that's something that,
This both the second floor, those clearly are same patched in, same.
can you come back to the new one? Please. Yeah, so you see on both windows, that patch is way too apparent.
Yeah,
So I think those need to be corrected. The patch on the lower kitchen window is much better.
it appears to be better.
Yeah.
We
Hard
share,
to tell with the scaffold in there.
you can see it there, the scaffolding's kind of scary a bit. It's better than, yes.
So we did close the public hearing. I see somebody raising their hand.
They were just gonna have a picture of when it was framed out, and I think the patch is shaky on all three windows. If you look when you're seeing it in person, that's all I.
Thank you. You're welcome to email that to staff. Okay. So that to me, I think should be part of any motion that we make, because part of the approval is not just patch it up. It's patch it up so it's not apparent that it used to be something else. And obviously that's done by not having all the joints in line and so forth, things with that.
May
But
What was your plan? Was your plan for the siding to leave it like that?
It's not finished. We just stopped because of the stop work.
Because that makes any, even the new windows look bad. Okay, it's just like, yeah, and I think the bottom one is some of the shadows obscuring it in the scaffolding, because you can see that there's some seams there.
Yep.
That probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, you can see the writing, seam, sure.
When you say you're not finished with it, what has to be done?
Because the boards were just installed to
Mhm.
close it. Because same thing,
Yep.
it was cold at the time when it was done, so they just closed it up. But they were not, fully aligned, locked and anything.
Okay.
They came off of the garage, so the original material, but as a result of removing it needs a little bit of wrapping. So it'll be fixed and we can mention it perfectly.
so when there's a patch, they stagger the joints, so you don't see that it was patch. All right, commissioners, further questions or motion regarding the sole situation?
Point of clarification,
Yes.
so if this does not pass, what happens to this project?
If the application for this particular window doesn't patch in the original window, then put that. Thoughts, suggestions? My suggestion for a possible motion would be that the window can remain as we're seeing today with all the siding to be patched and finished so that it is not visible in any form. And it's gonna need to be reviewed together with the building department.
So moved.
Okay. So, Diana moved. It was second. Okay, does everyone understand what the motion was? So we're leaving the windows in place. We're leaving the windows as we see them in this present day photograph. But we're requiring that the siding be removed and replaced with the joints staggered. So that they are not, so the patch on all three windows is not visible.
I'd like to ask one last thing,
Please.
to the petitioner. I'd like a good faith pledge from you, sir, that if you ever do another house again, not gonna be a misunderstanding. 'Cause we run into this a lot with people that should know better. So, not trying to make you feel bad, but. You should know better. If you do another one, this isn't fun for us either, but when you have neighbors that have to go through the same thing that you go through, they live there.
Right.
So. You're gonna pledge if we ever doing the house in a historic district that. You know all the rules and you're gonna follow all the rules.
So.
Thank you.
May I have one comment?
Please.
I think that the real tragedy is that the house no longer has set those long windows that really were part of the character. And we could have helped you and guided you to something that would have worked and would not have cost you any more money. And now this cannot be, well, it could be undone. We could vote against it. And then you would have to take out that window and put in the old window, old ones that met our specifications. So this was a very big misunderstanding. Okay, it was a lose-lose for us and for the city and for you. That was it, thank you.
Okay. If there's no one else, I'll take a vote. Vincent Walsh, yes. No, Marty? Yes. Walter Crowe?
Yes.
Marissa?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Dan and Esper?
Yes.
And Kevin Doherty?
No.
Good. Passes and maybe getting something to say something.
Are there any other windows that you're contemplating changes? You could say yes, you just have to.
I promise not to keep that stay in place.
He asked the question and I said, there you go, I saw. Right, we have one more public hearing. East side of Long Hill Street. Down, please join us, just give us your name and your resident address.
Sierra Leone is the actually not from this.
The petitioner submitted application for certificate of appropriateness for the purpose of constructing a single family dwelling. Petitioner is specifically proposing the following. Petitioner confirmed that the window will be the Gen Wells black tunnel double pane windows containing in glass 6/1 grids with the trim style presented in March 5, 2026. The petition is proposing one door 72 inch by 3 inch fiberglass black premium residential insulating floor double door as presented in March 5, 2026 evening. Stucco siding, light premium color, orange coin duration line architectural asphalt shingles in the color.
Dark red.
Red.
The windows are both exterior. The grids are on the exterior, that might be in the right.
So they are exterior grades, not.
Yeah, glass. Yes.
Okay, so, what would be the board, and then including those.
Yeah, so we originally started with a much bigger building. We came here a couple of times, we shrunk it down a bit. The last time we talked about the project with, was we made it into a wraparound portion with front, so that the flow of the building would be better, and also to lower that front entrance that Commissioner suggested. So we've made those changes, and also we increased the size of the windows. That close to that other property in Montville that we are trying to have inspiration from. Which is
How do you feel about these changes?
We should go the one. You got 6/6 is here, 6/1.
yeah, the window itself is gonna be a 6/1. 6/1 with
That's
that,
like this renders.
in the render says. 325.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
325 is the 325 Long Mill is the house that we put for inspiration. And I had included some of the renderings of the houses adjacent to this property to show the overall size of the house that Commissioner Nardi wanted to see side by side of comparisons. The building I'm proposing is much smaller. It's not as tall as the other two houses on the side, so it's not going to be peak over the street because it is going to be a lower
So
building.
this is the drawing.
Yes,
Good.
it is going to be wider, but it's going to be lower.
So I guess I don't understand, why did it get wider?
It's wider than the other two buildings, but it did shrunk from the original
It's
proposal.
in itself.
Yes,
Didn't get larger.
no. So this is, as you drive up, because some of the public comments that I got was that it was gonna be too large of a building for the neighborhood.
Massive.
But if you drive up Long Hill, the first house you see is that house, which is 75 feet wide. I understand it's the side of the house, it's not the front of the house, but that is the first house you see. And that's gonna hide my house, because my house is gonna be behind that building, so it's not gonna be. Like it's not gonna take over the street, since this is the first building you see when you drive up Long Hill anywhere. And it is 75, which is bigger than what I proposed.
Let me just read a couple more comments from staff. The previous application was originally denied because petition was unable to attend the hearing and there were reservations about the application being automatically approved. The petitioner has replied having submitted the same design that was submitted. Those materials included what I just said, so. The massing plan that depicts the proposed building in relation to the neighborhood residences. The site plan and so forth were changed, so the building is smaller
Yes,
than the original.
yes,
So can we see that in that?
Yes, sir.
application?
So what is the building? What is that the dark line?
yes.
And what is the gray? Is that the roof?
The gray, that's a driveway.
That's gray,
Oh, that is the roof.
that's the roof.
What's the width on that now?
It's 66. No, I'm sorry, 69.
69. So it's approximately almost 40% wider than the house on either side. 38% wider than the house on either side.
I also included in my application some other properties in the neighboring area, less than a mile away, that are about the same size or bigger.
Yeah, but with the rendering numbers was not correct. What they didn't match there, they didn't match those. And the foundation line. That looks like you moved that back as well.
Yeah, now everything is exactly the same.
It's to scale,
Yes.
So the front of the porch is matching the front of the other porches, but your foundation line will be slightly behind their foundation.
Yes.
and it's 28 feet on both sides from the line.
Yes.
But remember,
Because you are required to have the height of the building. You'd have to be required to have first zoning, your sides have to be the same height of the building. So that's why we have to just put it right where it belongs.
but I remember Miriam said that you plan to move in here yourself.
Yeah,
So
yeah, this is gonna be our long-term program. That's why we have a pool.
Are we able to see the street view of what's there, please?
I'm not sure if I'm looking at the right, is this?
No,
No.
you're at 124, you gotta go that way, behind you.
They go up the hill. You can go. Way past the way.
Cash
Yeah.
on their avenue.
Oh,
There'll be a house on the corner of Sumner, so. Right there.
No, a little bit, and one more block.
one more block up?
Yes, I'm down.
Yep,
Yes, not that far.
a little bit more, right there, that's my house, so then
So
the
next-
lot
Next
next door.
door.
Sorry,
Baby steps.
well, this is the house that you were referring to, right?
Yeah,
Okay, let me go back. Here?
Yep.
So maybe zoom out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this sort of get some perspective on what's on each side.
Should look different.
There, that helps. Question, Evan? Are you gonna retain those trees?
Negative.
So you're taking the trees out?
Mhm. That is the plan, yes, if approved. That's a hurdle that I've already discussed with the appropriate people. They said they're not old enough to be denied to be taken down. And they're not in the tree belt, so they basically belong to the property.
So the no trees on? Well,
Unless you would prefer them to be there.
You don't have a say in the trees.
They're not very beautiful trees. If they were like amazingly beautiful, I would keep them, but they're not.
well, it speaks to the streetscape.
Well, that's the thing, if they're not there and you build this massive, elegant house, you're gonna see that house. Cause there's not gonna be anything.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be any.
This one almost
Ancillary.
has to go because that's where the driveway will go. So it has to go anyway, but I'm okay if you say, just keep those two on the right side, sure.
I think, for me, I think Kevin brings up a very good point. That the trees, especially the trees. Really do create part of the streetscape, and it also. Begins to dwarf the size of the homes that are behind the trees. It's the old story, like you build a new house and you have this dinky little tree out in the front yard. 20 years later, 30 years later, it looks different.
Yeah, I don't mind keeping the trees if it helps with the overall completion of the project, sure. But again, the left one, it definitely has to go with the
Did the
project.
city tell you that the trees were considered on your lap?
Yeah,
They measured from, did you check? You should
Yeah.
check, just be careful, just check what it says from the middle of the street. Far up the street the city owns.
yeah. According to the people I spoke with, they said that because the trunk size of.
Well, not because of the size, I'm talking about the location, because the sidewalk doesn't define what the city owns and doesn't own. It very often goes past the sidewalk.
Okay, yes,
Just wanna
but
make
these
sure
are,
before you cut something.
yeah, but these are within our property line.
Is there another tree? In the back of them?
There's another tree here on the right side, but right in between the property lines.
Right on the property line.
Yeah, it's that one. Well, that one, yeah, in the back of the house, we're not gonna remove those, but there is another one here on the right side.
Sounds like, yeah.
You see it right there,
Right there.
yeah,
It's a big-
that one's staying.
If I may, if it's a public shade tree, it's within 20 feet of the tree belt. And if it's 75 years or older, it's a significant tree. So I hope that helps.
Thanks, Counselor.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks. Okay, further questions, commissioners, before we open it up to the public?
And remind, speak just to Paul for a second. Actually, I just wanted to have you look at those trees, because one of those looks like you can probably save it, it would be a nice tree. One of them, I'm not sure, but, I would suggest you look at it. But what I just want to say publicly for the public here is that we don't have any purview over whether it's legal to build the house or not. So we can't. If the driveway fits in the code and the house fits in the code, we can't, that's not what we do, we have nothing to say about it, all we have to say is about it looks. So, because we have the public, from the public way, yeah, not even from the back, where you can't, it's not seen the public way. So I just want to correct that, because the last couple of meetings we had, there were the commentary, some of the commentary was relative to some things that really aren't on our table.
And about other properties I may own that are not in this particular petition.
But absolutely correct, that too.
So,
Was there another question? Okay, so
I just wanted to check, so you're going to paint the entire house white except for the black doors?
It's gonna be a light cream So.
I just want to point out the houses on either side are, you know, lesser bright color, and yours is, that's gonna cause that to pop out. I think that that is a lesser cream, sort of a cream colory white, you know, your inspiration house.
The inspiration house was what? Yeah. We wanted to go with a light cream, which is a little bit more blendable, because it's not red. Or for, you know.
So that would be true for those corner pieces as well, all the same color.
No, so well, yes, but the pillars will be white.
So the pillars are white, and the railings are white, and the edges are.
So as you can see here, we have two renderings, one with the wraparound porch as you suggested, and one without it. We're okay with either, whichever is more appealing to the professional.
Architects among us, what do you think?
I prefer porch. I think it gives it a little bit more size.
That's all, what's it?
I sort of. I think I feel that the wraparound porch is at least helping to bring this down.
Right.
Visually.
Yeah, it's just helping you kind of ground it a little bit better.
Because without it, it would really just sit on the grass.
Yeah, so then if that is the route we'll take, we will use those same railings as the inspiration house.
With the same detail.
With the same detail, yeah, that's actually pretty simple.
Yeah, they go well.
Yeah, they're both.
Very soon. Yeah.
Fine.
All right, let me just bring to the public for a minute. So is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak either for or against a particular new application? No, yes, please stand and give us your name, residential address.
Denise Mosia, 14 Cherryville Ave. I did speak before. I'll try to stay in the guideline, but it's modern, it's new, it doesn't fit. It is a historic district, even we bought in the historic district. No one has ever tried to split a double lot before. And there may be bigger houses in the neighborhood, but there's generally more space in between them. So this is being squeezed into a much smaller space. There's certainly bigger houses on the other side of Long Hill. Much more space between both the houses that are longer and lower.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Yes, sir.
14 Cherryville Avenue, Springfield. I don't see a lot of the trim work that was left around like my house has, so ours wraps out farther. And there's more trim and more detail in the front and the sides and in back. That's pretty much it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
James Hedlock, 24 Spruceland. This is the exact same house that was proposed before that got rejected. The dimensions are from the last one that was rejected. There's been no changes. It still has no historic value. Doesn't match into the neighborhood, and the mass of the house to the property size doesn't work. It's still, it's gonna overpower the street. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Not, bring it back to the commission. So commissioners, your thoughts? I would like to verify the fact that this is smaller.
We need specific verifications, different measurements.
Right, because from the visual.
So the first time we came with 79 feet.
Right, but the second time you came back, it was smaller, that was not approved.
The second one was not approved because of the details of the actual building. We spoke and said bring the
Right,
portico down.
but the size has not changed from that.
From that day. From that day, and then I presented other properties that were as big or bigger than this.
How big is it now?
16.
So I think the comment from the public,
You also have a letter.
thank you. I think the comment from the public is well taken as far as there are other bigger homes with a lot more property on either side.
And we don't
And we have
have,
two,
we don't have like an architectural drawing telling us exactly what these measurements are gonna be. We have a rendering.
so we have two letters that need to be put into our record. One is April 15th, dear members of the Springfield Historic Commission, I'm writing to address proposal for construction of a house between 251 and 269 Long Hill Street. Although the 10-foot reduction in the house width is a step in the right direction, the house that is 69 feet is still considerably wider than the two adjacent houses. The width of the proposed house is even more prominent than described because of the 50-foot comparative measurements provided by the applicant, include open porch areas. The front facade of 269 is 41 feet and the front facade of 251 is 36 feet. The length of the side facade of 269 along Cherrydale is not relevant to a discussion without the front facade width. The 69-foot front facade would still be 92% to 72% wider than the adjacent houses, and that would make the new construction stand out in a very prominent way. I think any design that is wider than 50 feet at the required setback would be inappropriate for the parcel. A wider house would be visually overwhelm the existing houses. The only house in the vicinity wider than 50 feet is 283 Long Hill, but that house is both set back from the street by an additional 20 feet and has a thinner leading facade, but the main facade of the house starting 18 feet further back. That mutes the width of its 60-foot main facade. The driving factor for the applicant's design is the requirement of a U-shaped house with a pool between the two sections. Without this requirement, the applicant could easily design a more appropriately sized house for this property, one harmonious with the neighborhood. Well, split. We have another. April 16th, dear members of the Springfield Historic Commission, my name is Ruth Mahoney, and my husband and I are proud owners of 32 Spruceland. Over 20 years, we've raised our children here. We also active members of Forest Park Civic Association. We fell in love with the neighborhood, its historic roots, and the dedication of homeowners who just preserve and maintain the homes. I'm writing to voice my concerns about the proposed building of a single-family dwelling on Long Hill Street. I've seen the proposed plans and do not believe that they meet the standards of a historic home. I also have concerns that the home on the corner of Spruceland and Long Hill is often littered with garbage, which I recently cleaned up. I believe it is owned by the person who is proposing to build beside it. It has also come to my attention that this home is an illegal Airbnb, as it is not owner occupied. I appreciate the work that the Historic Commission does for our neighborhood and the city. Maintaining our homes and limiting construction of unsuitable homes helps preserve the culture and integrity of this neighborhood. I appreciate your time and your consideration of our concerns. Thank you, Ruth and Steve Vaughn. I think the letter brought up something that was in my mind when you discussed the pool. Obviously, a wraparound pool is making the need for it to be somewhat wider than we would have. That's something to be considered.
Yeah, this is the sign that we would like to build. Pull in. So it's for privacy, I have dollars. So
Then that's a garage in the back.
yeah,
No, we've not seen anything what that looks like yet. That will be visible from the public.
it's. I can show you a picture, but it's gonna. I think there is a visual of it. It's gonna look
This, I didn't see it.
It's gonna look just if it was more of the same facade of the house. It's not gonna be modern or anything. It'll look just like the side of the house. That's a whole.
That's it, there's no more. Okay, so yeah, so we really haven't seen it yet.
But the overall design of it is it's a flat roof with the same features as the main house.
But this application talking about building the house or both the house and ground?
Well, mainly the design of the house is what my priority is.
So what does the application read for the house only? All involved plans are short, but easily within feet 25 that's in operation. So just a building of a house, so 100 feet, without any of this. But what's why what's that? That would have to be another application. Yeah. But I still we don't have enough information to make a decision on this anyway. Because we're talking about numbers that you are usable, we don't have a.
What would you like to see?
Maybe an architectural drawing.
We have elevations that show you the overall size of the houses and what sign doesn't, what you would need to know.
Well, that's what was wrong last time.
And
I didn't happen to see it, somebody, that was on.
you want to
Great
see
last
a
time.
side by side comparison of the house.
That doesn't, the act of itself is not determining what the width is, we might say it. It's not.
Oh, it is the size though.
You must have to file something that's size of the house.
Not yet, because without it approval.
Well, it's, I know you're trying, but it's, on one hand, how many features. And I apologize to, I can see, so it looks, some of the things we don't control, we just don't control, who's trying to.
Yeah. The previous conversation we had is that you would like to see.
Yeah.
And this
That's
appears
the
to
sign.
be in scale.
It isn't.
That this dimension between these two houses is what they're seeing.
Not to each other, not the distance to each other, but the front of each property.
Right, but what about the distance between here and here?
Oh, no, they're gonna be about 20 feet.
Right, I think that's what you're asking. What it visually does it look like? This, the reality is that this house, what he's saying, this house is really out here someplace. They put them close together just to see.
Right, but I'm not gonna use this piece of paper.
No, no.
To vote on what the size of this house is gonna be.
No, you're looking.
Even though it says 69 feet right there, that's not.
You're looking for the site, you're looking for the site plan that shows exactly where it is.
And the base dimensions of the house, and something that's more of an official document instead of this is something change on my computer anytime.
Understood.
Well, I don't mind that, this is good to have.
The software we use, is this SketchUp, and it is two sides. It is. If
Right,
you put us a foot, it'll
But
show
this
you.
is not.
Oh, no, I understand.
Because this is not. Where these houses are compared to this one is not correct.
Right, because we wanted.
They're further apart.
They're further. We put them next to each other, so you'll see how.
And you're sort of hurting your request because they're looking so much closer and this is looking big compared to these. I think that's the problem. It's not accurate.
Right.
Okay. You concur with that? No, there are because. Okay, so, and I
Be not an official, that is a regular, not an official document.
Right.
That would be something we would send to the building department, because it is a plot plan, and it is the size.
I think it would be helpful. If there was a site visit. Where there was perhaps a 4x4 post. Set in the ground where the corners of this house would be. So that you could sit, stand across the street, walk either way, and get a sense of where and how big this place is. To understand that better than just on this rendering, it's not even accurate. I'm not sure what you thought about that.
You know what, that's the architect that he's speaking, but I would have never thought of that, so
Well,
it's not a bad idea,
yeah.
it's a good idea.
And or if the house changes its size. But I think. To try to vote without that accurate information, visual would not be fair to you nor fair to anyone. So I would suggest that we continue. Now that we have a little bit more understanding, all the things that he's proposing with the wraparound porch, the post in the corner of the house itself, and a smaller post in the corner where the porches would be, I think would help them understand. They can even drive by them and understand. Yeah. That would be, and the site plan that actually has a dimensions on it. And typically for a building permit, you have to provide the site plan.
It is there. The site plan is there, and it is accurate with both properties on each side. It's in the plot plan, it is to size.
The dimensions are there, but is it?
It is to size.
This one's off the size.
Yeah, but he's saying a plot plan, and that has both properties to size. Both properties on each side with the lots and with the new house.
Nurse, get closer. Maybe you can just take a visual. See, that 16 feet should be half of the
Yeah, I can
28 feet.
I think it is, but no, I mean.
Or that 11 feet.
So the 11 feet goes to the front.
Right, but if she puts the pen.
Oh, it's a touch
You
screen.
can't
Yeah,
touch.
touch screen.
She puts the pen there, there's 16 feet. Now take the pen and put it against
The 28.
the 28 feet.
My fingers.
Or even
Can you
better,
just put
put
your-
the 16 feet where the 11 feet is.
Those are two different measurements, because the 11 feet is, you see this,
Front lines.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
So there's, that's what 16 feet is represented on that drawing. Now
Yes.
move your pen over to the 11 feet. I bet you it's very close to the same distance.
11
See,
is
it's just,
smaller.
Yeah.
The 11 has to be
Yeah.
smaller.
it has to be smaller, but it does not appear that it's really to scale, or even better. The 28 feet. Right, 16.
Yeah, because if you took the 11 and you stacked it on top of a 16. it would be
Yeah,
further.
that would even be better. Take the 11 and stack it on.
You can just look from the right, just.
Sorry about this.
Trying my best.
Right, take the 11 and stack it against the 28.
All right. Stack it on the 16.
No, on the 28.
Sorry.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Now turn it sideways and put it near 28. It looks so nice.
Just the scale part.
Is this
I know, I understand, but I think what's happening, it's either the projection is such or whatnot, but it doesn't look right.
Well, okay, so if that 11 is to scale and so is the 16.
Yes,
I think we identified in an earlier discussion, on an earlier drawing, that the dimension lines were all wrong.
Yeah, and these are the correct
And
ones.
you're saying that
studying
this is
something incorrect.
You're correct.
Yes.
I think the larger question is the massing of this house on the lot. And I think that Chairman Nardi's suggestion was a good one, staking out the foundation corners and staking out the porch corners so that we and others, the public, can get a clear idea of what the massing effect.
Just know that we're making this building be a little bit further behind the other two buildings, because the
Right,
front
sure.
porch is what we're starting 16 feet.
Right, no, I think it's more of the 69 to 50.
if you put 4x4, 10-foot high posts here, here, and here. And then something low where your low porch will be.
Okay.
You could walk by and understand the size of this house.
Sure.
I
I
think
do that.
that would help the commission, I think.
Yeah, cause you at least get some scale,
Something visual.
right? Right now, we don't have any scale.
And my reason for saying it is because I am. As a commissioner, I'm worried that this thing is way too big for what's on either side of it. And that will help the trees that we saw in the photograph. Will certainly help dwarf the size of this.
And you're not wrong, it is bigger, if you're looking at the property in the front, but if I may bring this house, when you're driving up Long Road, you can drive yourself. That will be the first house you see,
Understood.
and
But
it's
massive
house.
But the side of your house is also more than 60 feet on your side. If you see the sides of each house as you're driving up Longer Street, it's gonna still look like
They're all
very
longer than they are.
It doesn't hide.
Yeah, but this house is gonna be in between them, so it can be hidden in a way.
Understood. Understood.
Cause the first house you see is that house is 78 feet, I'm proposing 69.
Okay, so what's the motion?
Can I just ask one?
If there's a motor,
You have another question on the other architect?
You said wraparound porch. Are you talking about the porch just running the length of the front?
Yes,
facade?
yes.
So it's not wrap.
No,
I just wanted to clarify that.
here's a big house. Here's one house for you.
Mhm.
Here's the next door house. It's close to next to the one. When you're driving here, yes, this is long, but you're gonna still see this. Is whether or not this is too big. And it's eating too much land, that's what visually you need to see. Right?
Yeah.
It's reasonable that we continue.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to ask to continue. It's too much of prominent, I think it's too much of a prominent add to the streetscape. Unless we're really sure what we're talking about, and then we'll be okay.
Like I said, I drove by a lot, today when I drove by, I actually looked at it. And it felt like. This is a big house, it wasn't a lot, so it makes sense that we define it the way you'd like to, because that way I can look at it. Not just think, what did I see in the meeting? To what's actually.
Yeah,
It's gonna
I'll
be.
do that, I'll have my guys do it this week.
Yeah.
When would you be?
Let me make the motion, I think I'll make the motion to continue the application, it's everyone street to the eighth.
Second.
Name whatever day you want.
They said
Seven.
The motion to cite the.
Who's second, please?
The may continue.
Did you say me?
yes, sir.
Any discussion further? You have anything to vote on there, yes, Margaret Grove?
Yes.
Marissa?
Yes.
Kevin? Yes. Vincent?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Yes.
May 2nd.
No, I thought.
Seven.
You can.
We can schedule a site meeting with Andrews.
Right.
And also suggest,
You pop on there, we can,
Let us know when
drive by anytime they're there.
and also
Start.
You can schedule with Andrew and just
Okay.
let him know when you have the post up.
I'd also suggest in an architectural office, there's no way we would not. Take some plain old cheap cardboard and create the three houses. In scale. Stick it on a board and you'd be able to see it right away.
Yeah, I think that we're talking a lot about feet, but what we're really meaning is proportion.
Yeah, context.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think that's really gonna that's why I think the site visit's important, because once you see that in context, you may say like, oh, that's more than I thought.
The only thing I'm afraid of is if we have a site visit, yes, we're gonna have the posts. But you're not gonna visualize that this house is gonna be short, that this house will be.
Just gonna bring that up, you lowered it purposely. And that should help the scale.
Yeah.
Between all the properties.
Both houses are 37 on each side, mine is 28, so it's about 10.
Yeah, and in mine, it's a little cardboard, cheap old cardboard model with scotch tape, that really saw a lot of visuals to make it understood. Okay, thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
See you in the next meeting.
Those commissioners, you went one at a time, because I can't have more than two. Say, all of us could go as long as we're out of it. Don't, please don't say diagram. We get on industrial.
We can enter this, launch it, cross the street and go to it. Parking. All right, so we're gonna move along to CPC historic home restorations and grants, either not hearing, however, we have quite a few of them to discuss.
Hey, folks, thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming, your comments.
The reading there. You're doing such a good job. Maybe the organizing of the stuff.
Okay, so what are we? Have you closed the vote on this one?
Andrew is saying that, because they're. Yeah, not ethical, nothing's changing, that it doesn't need to be brought before the commission, or I mean. That it could be done without being brought.
It's not here.
Yeah.
Right.
For the commission, and he could just do it administratively.
So this is just information.
But he's
He's
proposing.
asking, yeah, that's his asking, yeah.
So he's giving us two options, right?
Mhm.
And one is to continue to ask the person to come, the entity to come in and present, or. Number one, is that correct?
Or just do it administratively, and then they will have to come in before the commission.
Staff receives application originally approved,
I think that was in the past, something long time ago.
so.
Yeah.
Only issue with the NC was regular agenda.
It seems to
It may
me,
be a long time.
well, but it seems to me. Someone's gonna have to make the determination whether the restoration is accepted.
Yeah, that would still happen, the entity would just not have to come in.
In other words, we would look at the plan submitted rather than have it, but then we can ask them any questions.
I believe that's how, yeah.
Historically with these, we've done a review, in fact that. Laura Walsh or someone with CPC actually wrote them up. You remember, most of these things have been vetted, written.
Right.
Yeah.
Followed up on, the CPC doesn't usually let.
No, that's correct.
Right, halfway projects come through, they ask a lot of those questions. There's already a lot of professionally developed pieces with these, I haven't seen one yet. That we've reviewed, that someone said, no, what's that, like.
And
So-
most there were a few. Just questions, legitimate questions, but were answered.
Right, but most of the ones that I've seen, matter of fact, I can't remember one that I have seen that wasn't kind of more than we usually see. Because of the amount of detail.
Well, I think the problem we had in the past, I'm not sure if it was before you, whatever, is that some of these went by where we did have a question. So then we started to review them.
Yeah.
I know that certainly we didn't review them all, but I agree that they don't come to us lightly. This is usually vetted before we see them anyway. So if we were gonna let something go administratively, this would be the right thing.
Right, and these are gonna be checked. by CPC. Because of their rules with
But even
third, and the scope of work and the.
Right, but if Andrew's looking at something and he thinks this is something different. You would flag that.
Well, that's where I'm going with this, I think we deal with the exception. Because if you're gonna sit with 11 and you had a question, you had one question on one of them and it really wasn't a big question. Andrew's already. Posting on the non-applicability ones that don't even come to us, right, and the site materials.
He's doing it.
And then at the end of the meeting, he says, oh, I had 2 applications, and it's like for like, and I already approved them, so.
I think there's only one on there that might need to be, I think it's the last one.
Yeah, so I guess that would be the suggestion, just leave it to Andrew, one day, we have a question on, maybe that's the one. Like this 11/27.
I'm Latoya.
Victoria.
Latoya.
Oh, Latoya.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, so is it Andrew who's gonna be doing all this?
Yes.
You have a question from,
I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I'm just looking over it, it says that all of them have been reviewed, materials will, work materials is gonna comply with the DOI standards for rehabilitation, so that's.
much easier higher standard.
That's, that's prima facie evidence, I think, as they say in court. And then the historical character property should be retained and preserved, and everything's like for like, so. Again, it's like, it seems like this is informational, it doesn't require our intercession.
Yeah, I sort of agree. The only thing that bothers me is that they talk about restoring the masonry and the mortar. Could that be a real messy, ugly thing if they don't match those things?
Well, yeah, that could be at the end of the training thing with a question, but like out of these 10. 11/27 is the only one that he's pointed out,
Right.
and it's actually
Change.
it's the chimney cap.
Right,
So the other stuff, that's out of these 10, that's the one question, so.
Yeah,
So on this one, he would say this may require a year public hearing.
I agree. I do think that 36 CFR part 67 hits all of that in terms of mortar and materials. I think, that was my question in the earlier project of lime mortar versus Portland cement, is that, if it's 19th century brickwork, that's gotta be lime mortar. You put Portland cement in there, you're gonna destroy the brickwork. So, but assuming that this is accurate, then it seems like those I's have been dotted and those T's have been crossed.
And there'll be more follow-up before the project's done.
Yeah.
More than we would have with some of these here.
I can agree with you on that. Okay, so I guess we need to. Well, then let our staff. Do so unless they find an exception, then we should do it. That makes sense, everything?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the motion, I guess, put on the table by. The gentleman that you're in front of, Marissa? Yeah. Let's go. Can I have a second? Second. So let's vote to have Andrew do so. Vincent? Yes. Dana?
Yes.
Kevin? Yes, thank you. You have that Walter?
Yes.
Notice.
Yes.
Hi.
Oh.
What else we got?
Oh, that's it.
Here's the administrative update, Bay Street demolition permit file.
Bye-bye.
Good night, thanks for coming.
5-2 Bay Street, and Western Family Location.
I don't have any.
This is an FYI. All right.
Andrew was very detailed in his preparation here.
It's in the write-up, actually.
Yeah.
They've applied for a demolition. We didn't approve so
They're losing out the wait 9 months.
So he's not sure if they were gonna come before us and try to get us to pump it up. What?
Or they're just gonna wait out.
They're gonna wait it out.
Well, all they gotta do is wait out the.
Yep.
So that really is not.
Yep.
Correspondence, no. And we need a quorum call for our next meeting on the 7th. Eleanor, you will not be here. Where are you gonna be? You'll be leaving good. Walter? Give me the keys.
Yes.
Judith? We don't know. Marissa?
You mean it?
Vanessa? Will be.
Yeah, that has.
And Commissioner Coffee?
Yes.
Yes.
Either Zorzy, you made them Zorzi's.
Yeah, but I think we don't.
Yes, I'm gonna be taking over, but not until next year, so I still have some time.
Ramp it up.
That's what I started to great about it, so you got it.
Thank you.
That's why I started praying for you.
I'll stop recording.
Thank you, Attorney Shuchek. We'll need a motion to adjourn.
Sure.
Can I have that one?
I'm so moved.
Second, okay.
Third.